Aso Villa solarization, symbolism, or smart energy economics. One of the most debated energy stories in Nigeria right now is the solarization of the Presidential Villa, popularly known as Aso Rock. For some Nigerians, it raised difficult questions like, if the seat of power is going solar, what does that say about the national grid? And for others, it was seen as long overdue. But beyond the emotions and politics, there is a more important conversation we need to have. Does the Aso Villa solarization actually make economic and energy sense? And the simple answer to this is yes, it does. And we will be dissecting why. Welcome to the Energy Executive Insider, and I'm your host, Dr. Alex Tamnomiebam. Now let's dive straight into it. According to reports presented during the 2026 budget defense, the federal government allocated approximately 7 billion in the 2026 budget for the continuation of the solar mini-grid project at Aso Villa. Following an earlier 10 billion allocation in 2025, government officials also revealed that the villa's annual electricity cost has reportedly risen to 47 billion annually. The State House Medical Center had already been operating largely on solar since 2025. The broader solar transition project entered its testing phase in late 2025 ahead of full deployment in 2026. Now let's pause here. Why is this actually a good move? Solar is becoming the most economic backup power solution. Nigeria currently runs the most expensive self-generation economies in the world. Businesses, estates, telecom towers, banks, and manufacturers already spend billions annually on diesel, on generator maintenance, on fuel logistics, and of course downtime losses. The reality is this: solar plus battery storage is increasingly cheaper over the long term than continuous generator dependence. So, from a pure cost efficiency standpoint, reducing massive recurrent energy bills through solarization is economically rational. 2. It reduces pressure on the national grid. This is the part many people miss. Aso Villa moving partially or fully off grid does not take power away from Nigerians. In fact, large institutional consumers adopting embedded generation can reduce pressure on an already fragile grid system. Nigeria still faces grid instability, transmission bottlenecks, distribution losses, generation shortfall, and etc. The more strategic institutions diversify their energy mix, the more flexible the national grid becomes. 3. This move sends a strong market signal to investors. Like it or not, symbolic projects matters. When the nation's highest public institution adopts solar infrastructure, it legitimizes renewable energy adoption. It raises signal confidence in decentralized energy systems. It encourages private sector participation, and of course, it expands investors' confidence in Nigerian renewable markets. This matters at a time when mini-grid are expanding, where commercial and industrial solar is growing, where energy transition financing is increasing across Africa. So it is highly timely. 4. This is exactly where global energy systems are going. Globally, energy systems are becoming distributed, they are becoming decentralized, they are becoming renewable heavy, and they are becoming storage driven. So the future is not grid versus solar. The future is integrated energy systems. Even developed economies are increasing rooftop solar. They're increasing battery storage. They're increasing embedded generation. They're increasing microgrids. And Nigeria cannot afford to be left behind. Whether we like it or not, we can't afford to do that. But here's the important caveat. The criticism from Nigerians is also understandable because many citizens are asking, if solar works for Aso Villa, why isn't the same urgency applied to improving energy access nationwide? And honestly, this is a fair question. Honestly, it is fair. The real success of this project will not be solarization itself. The real success will be scaling decentralized energy nationally. It will be supporting mini-grid deployments, and it will be expanding rural electrification. It will be improving affordability for citizens and businesses, because energy transition cannot remain elite focused. The Aso Villa solarization should not be viewed as an admission of defeat for the grid. It should be viewed as a recognition of a global reality. Energy resilience now requires diversification, and if properly leveraged on, this moment could accelerate renewable energy adoption. It could accelerate policy confidence. It could accelerate investors' participation. It could accelerate energy innovation across Nigeria. At the Energy Executive Insider, we believe the bigger conversation is not why solar for Aso Villa, but the bigger conversation is how do we make reliable, decentralized, and sustainable energy accessible for all Nigerians? Because the future of energy is no longer centralized alone. It is intelligent, it is distributed, and it is resilient. And Nigeria must position itself accordingly. Thank you so much for following this episode of the Energy Executive Insider. If you found it really interesting, then please comment. Where would we move beyond headlines to unpack the systems shaping African future? It is here at the Energy Executive Insider. So now is the time to share your thoughts around this and, share it with your friends, and let's hear their opinion on this interesting discussion. I remain Dr. Alex Tamnomeba, and thank you for watching.